Welcome back to Talkin Baseball. Baseball's underway. We got 60-man rosters. We got summer camps. We got players opting out. And we got NL DHs. Let's do it. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Talkin Baseball. Did I say Talkin Yanks at the beginning by accident?
I think so. I feel like we would have said something.
Okay, I didn't mess up the intro, and everything has been going smoothly since the start of the show. My name's Jimmy. This is Jake. Trev's over there in California, and producer BBD is with us. We got baseball. We got some deep baseball conversations to be had, Trev. You excited about this? Jake and I have been talking nonstop every day. How offended are you by the term summer camp? Trevor.
I don't care.
Okay.
Right answer.
Good answer.
I'm excited to be talking about actual baseball, too, and players and strategy and all that good stuff.
Did you hear that John Heyman said summer camp was offensive?
Why?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No one really knows.
He died on the hill.
He said, like, it should be called something more serious because there's, a pandemic involved.
What?
He's like, summer camp, you think of fun and memories.
He
But
said even
there's
spring training, too, is
global-
a bit too flippant.
What does he want it to be called?
Dude, I don't know.
Did he leave a
Pandemic
suggestion or
operations. It's Jake told this to me live on Talkin
Mystery
Yanks,
farts.
and I had the exact reaction that you're having. Like, what?
You
Doesn't make
know,
any
like
sense.
some people just got to say stuff no matter what it is. Just say something.
Say something. How was your weekend?
It's been great. Had a great weekend. Can't complain, man. California summers. They're great. I wish we weren't in a global pandemic. I wish that there was some different things going on in our world. But all in all, I mean, I had a pretty good weekend.
Nice. Jake, how are you?
Wasn't your old band name California Summers?
I thought that was California Hummers. And it was nothing but them driving around in Hummers blowing each other.
You don't see too many Hummers around anymore, huh?
No, I think they kind of came down
Aged
hard
out.
on them. They're like, hey, I don't think it's necessary.
These are terrible.
Speaking of, though, Aroldis Chapman just picked up a new
Yeah,
crazy-ass Kevlar car.
Why would you need that?
He's a good guy.
He's good at throwing baseballs fast.
Yeah, he can do
So
that.
hard. I'm all right, Jim. Orioles signed their number 2 overall pick, Kjerstad, to a $5.2 million bonus, so pretty big.
The Orioles did?
So we can deep dive into that. Yeah, man. I'm in a weird holding pattern. Like, I want to get really excited about baseball, but I'm kind of trying to save it for after 4th of July, after everyone reports. Everyone's going to be reporting, kind of getting their COVID test. Yankees are supposed to host their first practice on the 4th of July, which is just kind of like, I get it, but
So
on.
many wives and parents
Come
and brothers
on.
and sisters of Yankees players are like, really? Couldn't push it one day?
we've done this whole thing and we're going to do it on the 4th of July.
So many Mrs. ball players out there saying, like, finally we get to host a July 4th party. They've probably already bought the American flag paper plates and napkins, and now the Yankees take their husbands away last second.
Downloading good renditions of God Bless America.
All the wives
Also-
are happy. They're like, get out of here.
Yeah, that's
All you
that's
guys,
very
get
much
out of here.
true.
I'm sick of taking care of an extra kid. Like, go to your summer camp and be offended by the name.
Yeah.
Trevor, are you a bit disappointed that Spencer Torkelson isn't on the Tigers 60-man summer camp squad?
There's a lot of disappointment in these 60-man rosters. I don't know what teams are thinking. There's obviously each team is going to do it differently. But, yeah, he should be on it. Why not?
What the hell happened with Daddy Doge? You tried to correct my NLDH tweet, which we'll talk about that a little later, and now you look like a massive fool. It's all the internet's talking about. But what the hell was that?
You know, that
You hit
happens to
him
me
up?
It happens to me quite frequently nowadays. The internet just comes at me. But
Yeah.
I texted him this morning, and I said, "What's up?" And he said, "What's up, Coach Sack?" And then I said, "What's the word? Are you playing?" And I sent that 15 minutes ago. I haven't heard back from him.
Okay.
Okay,
So maybe we'll get a
so-
live update
yeah.
there.
Maybe.
Something to look forward to. I mean, I kind of jokingly asked you about Torkelson. He's the number 1 pick for the Tigers, and the Tigers came out and were like, he could play right now. It's like, yeah, because you're not trying to win, Tigers. So I could play right now for you, and it would be part of their plan.
Yeah.
Are those guys on big league deals? Like, I don't know. Do they do that anymore? I don't think they do that anymore.
He hasn't signed yet, so I think that's probably why. He
they
could
got
still
the signing slots and stuff. He'll get a chunk of change. Orioles dude, 2 pick got 5.2. That's pretty.
Is that Dingler?
Kerstad. Duhast.
Duhast.
And there's going to be like 5 of those guys that are any good. That's the craziest thing about the draft.
It's getting a little better, I feel like.
I don't know.
Trev, do you want these 60-man summer camps when you're looking at them? Well, anyway, what are your thoughts? Are you expecting them to have guys that high-value guys, like first-round picks from this year and maybe guys in Double-A? That's what I was thinking. Some teams, the Yankees, didn't do that. They put a bunch of guys to help win this season. Which side do you think is better for baseball?
It's obviously where you're at as a franchise. The teams that are trying to win now, they're going to have guys that can help them in depth because they know there's going to be COVID cases. They know there's going to be some soft tissue injuries. So they need the 60 guys. I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if we saw teams use 45, 50 different players this year. And then on the flip side, you have the Tigers, the Marlins, the Orioles. And I think what we're seeing is they just want their guys to not lose a year of development completely. So bring out the guys that you think are going to help you in the future and just have them around and making sure they're playing baseball, because the rest of the guys at home, they're just going to be sitting there. And a year off of baseball, I mean, it's a game of repetition.
Yeah.
And that's how you get good.
The interesting conversation that Jom and I have been having kind of around Yankee land, but it's actually a lot more fun when you bring it to other teams, I think, is the young guys this year. Because, the Yankees, probably their 6th or 7th starting pitcher this year is a guy named Clark Schmidt. He's a top 100 prospect, supposed to be solid.
You guys talk about him all the time.
Yeah,
I know Clark.
That's all we do is bring him up.
He's a big fan of MTV's The Real World.
He's got a nice hammer. Good curveball too. But it's one of those interesting things. In a 60-game sprint, do the Yankees call him up and start that service clock? And then I think it's actually more interesting if you go to a team like the Marlins. The Marlins are playing the NL and the AL East this year. They're going to get bashed in, and they actually have an improved team. Their squad has some. You'd be surprised. There's some good young dudes on there, and they got Jonathan Villar, Jesus Aguilar. They improved their team. But if you're the Marlins and you're talking about young guy playing time, love when we finally deep dive on the fishies, is why would you call up any of your young dudes for this year? I mean, 60 games to lose a year of service time?
Counter.
Sit
them out for the first 7 games.
Right.
Have them play the next 53. They develop and get playing time, and you don't lose a year of service time.
That's coming.
Yeah.
It's coming. I had an interesting conversation last night. I went on a podcast, different one. I cheated on this podcast.
Damn it.
Gross.
Slut.
And
Whore.
the conversation that got brought up was about service time and the loopholes, the manipulations, the shit that we know we're going to see. And one point was, what about the guys who are X amount of days away from free agency? Okay, if a guy's 15 days away from free agency, 20 days away from free agency, what if he just goes and plays for 20 days and is like, I'm out. I'm over it.
Ooh, that's an interesting spin.
That could happen. There's a ton of loopholes and things that aren't.
Did you hear about our loophole that Jake stumbled into?
We found a loophole.
It's a huge loophole.
Big loophole.
I did not hear about it. But
Before I tell you about the loophole, I got to tell you something else. This episode of Talkin Baseball is brought to you by Justin Plasmeyer,
Business,
Spider-Man 93, James, Zach Kablowdy. I think I've done these names already. Dylan Higgy, Sarge, Kevin Lau or Lowe, not sure. The Rays have 2 of those. Ty Williamson, Zach Summer, Nick Mesabov, Nate Clover, Ramik, Abe, Andrew, Jamie, Gabe, Bilbo Brabson, and Jesse Seller our most recent Patreons. Maybe they're watching live right now. Abe actually is. And he said that he liked Trev's realness in the chat.
Ooh.
So, yeah.
Who doesn't?
Thank you, patreon.com/JOMBOY Media.
JOMBOY
Trev,
Was there a Bilbo in there?
Yep,
Yeah.
Bilbo Brabson.
Big fan.
Might be a playoff Mr. Baggins. I feel like we mentioned him before. Go check out the Patreon. It's pretty nice.
Jake and I, Trev, mostly I think it was Jake, but together we came to it while we were recording Talkin' Yanks.
Good stumble.
Because the Yankees have some people on their 40-man roster that are not ready to play MLB baseball at all.
Every team does. Young guys they protect from the Rule 5 draft.
Yes. If you have guys on your 40-man, and the 40-man rules are still exactly the same. They didn't extend the 40-man, which I thought they may because they're extending the roster.
No exceptions to the 40-man.
No exceptions.
Same rules.
So if you need to make room on the 40-man, you're going to have to DFA a guy, and then he's going to go on waivers and get claimed in this weird season. The loophole is you take a guy who's not ready for the big leagues at all, not going to play this season at all, and you just 60-day DL him, put him on the IL, phantom injury, clear a spot on the 40-man for the Fugazi 60-game season, bring in MLB-ready arm. So, like, the Yankees have, like, 5 guys that, I hate to say this, they should do it with.
I mean, that's not unique to this season. They do that in any other season too, but this is what you're saying is they can do.
Well, this is the whole
season.
Like season. They do a 60-day phantom IL. It's the entire season. It's not just 2 months.
But you can use that 60-day and just prolong it.
Yeah.
During a regular season, they do all the time. Oh yeah, he's got to go rehab now, and you can do 20 days of rehab or 21 days of rehab. So you can really extend that 60-day DL. But yeah, I mean, look, teams are going to get creative. I mean, I don't know if creative is the right word. They're going to get. I don't even know. Slimy. That's a better word for that. They're going to get slimy and do some things. They're like, what? And then you're like, oh, there's a loophole. I think, like I said, players are probably going to find some. If we know anything about baseball, it's that people like to mess with the rules and try to gain advantages from them.
I mean, those free agency days that you mentioned are real interesting. And if you're a casual fan, it probably doesn't move the needle for you. But if you're
probably not listening to this.
If you're a deep tracks baseball fan, what Trevor's saying, like say, you're a starting pitcher and you need 30 days to hit free agency, and you stay on the roster for 30 days, and maybe your team sucks. You could just chuck up some deuces and be like, I'm good. Like I'm tapping out on that, and that's an aspect I hadn't really thought about at all. And that's man, if somebody does that on a competitor, it's
gonna be weird.
They're gonna get their shit pushed in.
It's I think what players are thinking about is, well, they don't know what free agency is going to be next year. It's obviously not going to be what it was or even close to what it was. So if there's just no reason to risk it. If you're on a crap team now and like a weird season, I think people are kind of looking at this season as just like a completely different entity. It's not like the 162 games that we're used to. People are like looking at it as like, well, let's just get through this season. Instead of like, hey, I can't wait for 2020. It's like, I can't wait for 2020 to be over. Because things are just so different this year. I think guys, teams, players, everyone is just looking at it completely differently. And like I keep repeating myself here. I'm sorry, but there's going to be a lot of people looking for ways to take advantage of this shortened season.
I know we are. As a company.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
All right.
Do you want to elaborate?
No. Give away all the secrets, Trev.
What are we surprised by the early response from players? I mean, I'm assuming we're going to get a few more. So far, we have Ryan Zimmerman and Joe Ross from the Nationals. Ian Desmond comes out with his powerful post, and Mike Leake was the first reported. Now on the Diamondbacks as a starting pitcher. Are we surprised there's not more? Is this kind of what we expected? Should we be expecting a lot more? Any tidbits? You got any tidbits?
I wasn't sure what to think about it. But we have been saying, on this pod that this is just kind of a strange year, and it's guys think about going in and getting hurt. And then guys like all these guys that we're talking about that have already opted out, service time means nothing to them. They've made some money, so that doesn't mean anything to them. I think really, honestly, they're really looking out for their health and safety of their family and themselves. So can't fault these guys for doing it. I mean, we are in the middle of a global pandemic, and if these guys like Ian Desmond I don't know if his wife is pregnant or they just had a baby, but a lot that's kind of happening throughout the league. So this kind of has to scare you guys a little bit because your number one guy is kind of going through the same thing.
Dude, he's been driving to Yankee Stadium every day.
I know you told me that, but all it takes is for his wife to sit him down and say, honey, you got 50 more years.
Want to know what she was doing? Want to know what she was doing when she was 6 months pregnant?
Go ahead. Tell me.
She's squatting down, catching his pitches with a glove in her hand in the front yard. You think she doesn't want him out there on the mound?
Things can change. And like I said, that's all it takes, dude, is for her to be like, honey, I don't think that we should do this. It's really not worth it. I know you want to make a good impression with New York fans right away, but think about what was his contract?
I think $1,000 million for 10 years.
327 for 10, something like that.
He's got 9 more years there, guys.
9
to make it right.
with a kicker.
Yeah, and imagine being able to just get a quick one in 60.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, I wouldn't be surprised now that I'm kind of like thinking about the situation a little bit more and seeing already 4 guys opting out. I mean, this could happen quite a bit, especially if guys go to spring training and they're like, this is stupid.
All right, well,
this could happen.
Let's just talk about it as if the baseball season's happening and players are playing because that's more fun.
I like that too.
I had my brother-in-law, Brett, is an Angels fan.
Boo.
So I had a fun conversation I want to have quickly with you guys.
Fine.
Does Ohtani have the easiest path to MVP?
No.
Because he's going to pitch once a week and he's going to hit 4 days a week. And if he can be a plus player on both sides of the ball, I think it's like he doesn't have to do much to get MVP.
They're going to have such kitty gloves on him, and rightfully so.
They said that they're going to pitch him once a week.
I don't.
Yeah, but I mean,
I already read that. Are they doing a 6-man rotation?
Yes, 6-man rotation. Yeah. Ohtani once a week, and then four times.
I mean, that could be 75 pitches to start. I mean, he's coming off a big injury. He's, the prize young piece of that franchise right now. Like they aren't going to push the limits with him at all. That I think guys are going to rack up more stats on both sides.
Let me tell you something right now. We've been talking about some of our secrets, what we're going to be doing to put some content out there. One of them being prop bet here and there.
Prop bet.
Shohei Ohtani is plus 1,800 for the American League MVP. I don't hate that bet one bit.
Yeah, I like him as the third best MVP on his team too. I agree with you guys. Or is that not what you said?
Rendon is plus 2,500. Mike Trout is plus 110. You're paying even money essentially to bet Mike Trout for MVP, which is crazy.
I mean, best player ever, arguably.
I agree, but that's no fun.
Yeah, and people like a storyline. It's become a storyline award.
Close. The next closest one is New York Yankee Aaron Judge at plus 1,000.
What was Trout?
Plus 110.
Like even money. Like 20 to win 21.
Nice.
That's wild, man.
Math pod.
Ohtani made 10 starts was this last year? Or was it 2018?
Yeah, 2 years ago.
When he won Rookie of the Year?
Roy.
Yeah, he's on schedule for 10 starts this year if they continue a 6-man rotation.
Yeah, 10 starts. I'm just saying, I think the numbers don't even have to be amazing on both sides to light up some eyes.
I'm wondering how often.
Okay, what if I change the question to this, Jake? Can he have the biggest impact on his club if he plays above average baseball?
If he were to play his best baseball, yes, because he plays both ways.
Yeah.
I think that's.
Are they going to hit him every day, Jim?
I think 4 times a week, and then he
start
pitches
day
once a week.
off.
I think the days off before and after starts.
I mean, I just think to be MVP, he's got to be a top 10 player pitching or hitting, and I don't think with either of those restrictions he can do that.
Well,
I think it makes for a better discussion. I mean, hey, if he's lights out at one of them and then he contributes on the other side, I think, yeah, that's a huge kicker.
But you know these voters, dude.
I think
that's what I'm saying.
You still have to be special. I mean, the voters would love the storyline. So if he can get his name in there, but like, I don't want to see Ohtani with a 880 OPS and a 3.5 ERA.
That wouldn't do it.
Get it? Just because he's playing both ways.
Yeah.
Like he's got to be
880 OPS is pretty low for him.
Well, I mean, he's still got a small body of work. Like
if he went 880 OPS and had like a 2.5,
that's his career. That's his career OPS.
Is it?
Yeah,
880 is a pretty damn good OPS.
It's good. It's really good, but I don't think
his career numbers are pretty good.
Say he had 880, Jake, and he went 7-3 with a 2.5.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's MVP.
I think it's depending what everyone else does. It's in the discussion. Absolutely.
I think baseball voters are going to be like, that's the most impressive guy on the field today.
I love that bet. I love it.
It's a good bet. We'll add that to our bets list. Get ready for the bet episode coming up at some point.
Coming up at some point is the bet
preview.
Episode.
Right,
Teaser.
I'm looking right now. So he's had 1 year of pitching under his belt, and he was at a 3.3. It's not going to get it done for an MVP. If he goes 880, 3.3, not enough.
No, but I do believe that he never got roughed up that year. He just had shortened games that hurt him because of the injury and stuff. It's such a small sample size.
Yeah, I mean, his ERA plus was a 127, so that's good. You just opened my eyes to something right there. I'm kind of into it.
I mean, I love it as a upside bet because there is a storyline, and if he shoves on one side of the ball, you can spin that so easily. So
I think if he's A+ on one side and B+ on the other, a lot of voters are going to give him votes.
Current simulated season stats via Out of the Park Baseball and Baseball Reference. He's got 12 home runs, an 833 OPS, a 3.95 ERA, 4-6 record. Like,
good.
no, I guess the part I don't like is that with those stats, people are going to be pushing Ohtani MVP, and I don't like that.
I don't. Yeah, okay. I mean, I think if he's doing it on both sides at a little bit less than one dude who kills it on one side, that's more valuable. Like, I think he's the most valuable part of a team going into this. Such a short season.
Like, he's making. He's
What's
making
that?
Basically no money.
Yeah.
Right.
Which is crazy.
And I don't know. Like, if he earns it, I'm fine with Shohei Ohtani getting it. But he also plays with the best player ever, who, if he does his normal stuff, should trump him. And I think I'm getting pre-mad about it because I'm picturing Trout having a 4.5 WAR in 60 games. But Ohtani's got a 1.5 and a 1.5 on both sides, and everyone's like, "Well, he's doing it both ways." And it's
I'm one of those guys.
I don't care.
Yeah, I'd be one of those guys. I'd be like, "That's more impressive."
Look at that.
I don't know, man.
That's gonna be good sports radio.
Yeah, I'm in the middle there. I think he's got to dominate both sides. I think he's got to
dominate one.
He's got to dominate one for sure,
and then still be really good. On the
I actually think he has to dominate hitting, and the pitching just has to be above average.
Oh, I was going to say the other way.
I mean, relievers have won MVP or gotten MVP votes before.
If he goes out and bangs out a great season on the mound and then comes and, does his thing at the plate, that's more impressive to me than the other way. Than like having like a 4.5, and then hitting well.
Well,
either way, I'm excited to watch his.
I like it as a storyline.
Yeah.
We'll add that to the storyline up. We'll add that to the prop bet app, and we'll add that to go back and listen to our Koshian episode.
Did you listen to our Koshian episode, Trev?
This is what you put on Ohtani, and you'll get 18 of them at the end of the season when he wins MVP. I love that.
$100 to win $1,800?
Yeah.
I do like that bet.
I like it too.
I just think they're gonna baby glove him, and there's gonna be someone out there who plays 58, 59 games and puts up ridiculous numbers. Like someone can finish with like a 1.3 OPS this year.
It'd be crazy if you guys knew somebody that
Okay.
knew his agent and could ask those questions.
Wow.
Crazy, yeah.
That would be nuts.
That would be nuts.
I'll have to look out for that.
It'd be nuts.
You're gonna love my nuts.
You want to do DH stuff?
Yeah. Let's talk about it.
Sounded
Yeah.
like a no, but we're gonna do it.
I'll tell you why. I just think my answer is going to be the same for almost every damn team. I think we're all kind of on agreement there. Like, it's going to be used as a rest day.
I think the Cubs will be Schwarber most days.
Yeah, Schwarber. We know the Brewers would be Braun. Maybe even the Braves have kind of a more set DH. But
I mean, I think you're gonna see a lot of platoon stuff.
They had two third basemen like doing really well, Camargo and Riley in camp, fighting for that job. So young, thick, but he's too young to be DHing all
Marcell
the time.
Ozuna.
Yeah.
Ozuna, I mean, they've got an extra outfielder in Atlanta. They could throw Ozuna. You could throw Markakis. Young, thick Austin Riley.
Ender.
Don't keep Ender in the field.
Okay.
I like him. Yeah, I don't know. The Mets always jump out to me because I feel like they've had an extra bat for a couple years now. And a guy like Dom Smith, you can rest Cano. I like them. Trevor got mad that Jay Bruce was listed in an article. Do you want to talk about that?
Well, they were talking about the Phillies, and this article said that Jay Bruce will probably be their primary DH. But I think they're one of the teams that's just going to rotate their veteran guys through that position.
Yeah.
They're going to keep Realmuto healthy. He's going to get some days off from catching. He's going to DH. Bryce Harper, they're going to try to keep healthy. He's going to get some DH. Andrew McCutchen, obviously coming off an ACL injury, probably going to be a DH as well. So I do think Bruce will be there, and he's a hell of an option. But all these teams are just going to use it as rest days.
What about the Reds? You think your boy Moose is going to get some DH run?
No. They've got much worse defenders than Moose. Castellanos might be the Reds could be the big winner of this DH thing.
Castellanos?
I was going to say, if Moose struggles at second base, I could see him doing that. But all signs point to him being just fine at second base. So,
He's our
Castellanos
friend.
is.
Did you see Aristides Aquino?
Yeah.
Didn't even make the 60-man?
It's tough.
Yeah.
There's some shit going on with that because I felt like there was a few guys, our boy Dozier, another one who got left off, and I don't know if there's some like procedural paperwork or something like that has to go on, and a lot of these guys have been getting released and then re-signing, so still haven't heard from Doge, but I'm thinking that might be what's going on, and with a guy like that, the Punisher. That seems a little strange that he's not part of that pool.
I mean, 60 dudes.
Yeah.
You could be a part of that pool.
It seems like a shot at the
really
bow.
could. What?
Seems like a message.
To the Punisher?
Sure.
Was he messing around?
Yeah.
Was he not taking things seriously? What do you mean?
I think he was sending lewd texts.
Is that a real thing?
No, I don't know. I was talking about Aristides. Like, I don't know. Do they really want him to work on something that he's not? Like, it just seems like 60 guys. He had a pretty... I know he's not fully ready, but like 60 guys.
60 guys. Dude, like, broke home run records last year.
Yeah. So, I don't know.
Would have...
What about your Rocks, Jake? They got Murphy? That weirdo?
Rocks are funny. I mean, Charlie Blackmon, Daniel Murphy. I think they're going to rotate the old guys through there. I wish they just signed Matt Kemp to replace Desmond. In theory, we'll see if he makes the big squad. Man, my Rocks, I feel like if I was GM of the Rockies, which if they're taking applications, hello, Jake Storielli. I am 30 years old, 5'7", 183 right now. Here's where I think the Rockies missed. The pitching is always going to be a mess. And you just kind of have to fight through it the best you can. The offense is always kind of going to be there. Plus, they have some special dudes. I mean, what Blackmon does, what Story does, what Arenado does. Jim, you saw it live last year when they played the Yankees. Their outfield defense is atrocious. And when I see Daniel Murphy might be DHing at first base, I'm like, Jesus. Like, I feel like they've missed out on making a good defensive ball team, which they have a giant outfield. And Blackmon's been pretty bad in the outfield for years. Why haven't they focused more on that? Like, when you're telling me Daniel Murphy's going to DH and, like, all right, now you could start Garrett Hampson at second. That does nothing for me. My rocks.
I don't know. Their outfield defense was bad last year.
So bad.
It was like them and the Orioles. Hit a fly ball, you're golden.
God. Show that Oppo juice, Trev.
I am looking at projected starting lineups and pitching rotations for this year.
Yep.
Let me tell you something.
Say it, Trevor, right now.
I'm just going to go out and say it right now. I think I already have my 2020 World Series champ pick. I'm going to say it right now. Just looking through it right now.
Say it, baby.
The Tampa Bay Rays.
Yeah. I like them Rays.
Their starting pitching is damn good.
Unproven?
Gross.
I don't know about unproven there.
It's gross.
They got a couple. Has Charlie Morton ever won a Cy Young?
No. Top 3.
Dude, but Charlie Morton is a huge. He chews on gum, and then he takes the gum and touches his fingers to his gum. Not allowed this year. I'm not being serious. He does do that. Okay. I don't think it's gonna fuck up his ability, but he does touch his gum a lot. So
I'm just looking at these lineups. I'm look, and I don't want to make you guys mad.
Rays need one more hitter, dude. That's my biggest thing. I love their pitching, but it's Austin Meadows or bust. They just platoon.
It's not true.
Oh my God.
I'm gonna look at it right now. First of all, I was gonna say before you interrupted me.
Sorry, Trevor.
I don't love the Yankees rotation.
Good.
You
don't like Cole, Paxton, Tanaka?
I like Cole.
Okay.
Ooh.
Paxton's coming off a back injury.
Yeah, from like 3 months ago.
I'm hoping he's good.
He's off.
I do like Paxton.
Okay.
Tanaka is like 70 years old.
Oh my God.
He's younger than you.
It's just wrong.
He looks like he's 70 years old.
It's just wrong. It's just Yankee hate flowing through.
Can
you compliment Tampa without coming at the Yankees?
Yeah, we're in.
I'm fine with that.
Tampa's got a good squad.
I like Tampa.
I just didn't. The reason being, and why I am picking them right now to win the World Series, is that rotation.
Hot take, Plouffe.
Tampa's pitching is
because Glass
legit.
now is a guy that he's kind of figured it out last year.
Give me his Cy Young numbers.
They legit have 3 aces on their team. Like Charlie Morton's an ace, or can be.
I like Charlie.
Blake Snell is a Cy Young winner. He's an ace. And Tyler Glasnow has shown he could be an ace. You're running those 3 horses out there. I like your chances.
Remember this for the gambling episode. Little cheddar on Glasnow for Cy Young. I'm in on that bet. Yeah.
He's a good-looking guy, too. Gotta love that. That gives him an extra little percentage point in my book. Yeah,
it's huge. He like 6'8".
Yeah, look.
You guys got to pump the brakes on Glass.
Huge. You need to turn the brakes.
He's got
off.
nasty stuff. He can be very good. He hasn't done it for a full season in his career yet.
Yeah, because he was tipping his pitches, and
Neither is Ohtani.
I told him that he was tipping
Neither is
his
Ohtani.
pitches.
Yeah, that's why I was going to compare him to.
Yeah. Sorry, Trevor.
You're going to compare Glass now to a guy that you're picking to win the MVP? That's pretty good.
Well, Glass not only pitches. I'm just saying, like, dude's had 2 bad seasons. He had 10 good games last year, and you guys are sucking his dick like he's Garrett Cole.
Dude, that's because the stuff is special,
I agree, but, like, didn't even go through the league twice last year. Pump the brakes.
I'm not pumping on Glasnow. That's my dude.
Yeah, I'm not going to pump the brakes either. I'm fucking throttled down, baby.
Mm.
I'm just trying to go through these rotations and see, like, who can match up with them. And not
guys.
many teams.
He figured it out.
Glasnow stuff is good. I think he has a future as being a legit stud. But he's not there yet. He's got 10 games last year where he's really good, and half of them came against the San Francisco Giants, Chicago White Sox, Baltimore Orioles, Toronto, and Angels. So, like,
It takes time for pitchers to figure it out. Like Scherzer didn't figure it out until his 5th year in the league, his 6th year in the league.
I don't know about that. I don't know about that. But another team who I'm now, we talked about them before all this, and one injury has really put them on the back burner for me. But if the Mets still had Thor, like that starting rotation is the best in baseball. If they have Stroman. They have DeGrom and Syndergaard. They still have Matz going for them. That's a hell of a rotation. Obviously, no more Thor this year. He's still working out. I don't know if you've seen any videos on Instagram. He's still maintaining his physique, which is nice to.
No, I am.
Nice to see.
How long is Thor out for? What's the news with him?
I think it's an entire year. It's TJ, isn't it? Didn't you have TJ?
Gone.
Yeah.
Gone. Is it and should okay? Trev, help. Trev and John.
Okay.
BBD, if you've got it.
I just want to let you know. Stop making me be the bad guy on here. You guys are hyping up guys that are hyping up Steven Matz, dude.
He's
yeah.
He's their
he was their
four
5th starter last year. Now he's like their 3rd.
I'm not in on Matz.
He's not good, Trev.
I was talking about if they had their full rotation. That's a damn good rotation. If Steven Matz is your 4 star, it's pretty damn good.
He's like an average 4th starter.
Give me Glasnow all day.
I mean, the Rays' rotation is way better than the Mets.
Should this be the conversation? The NL adds the DH this year. No pitchers hitting. Hot take, Jake. Should the storyline be more around what NL pitching staffs are going to be built up to deal with that? I mean, you're getting 3 more real at bats a game.
Probably you can say getting 6 more real at bats because they actually have to pitch to the 8-hole now.
Yeah. I mean, so is the actual story there, lean into the NL teams that have good pitching? I mean, not that that's a baseball hot take anyways, but, I mean, the NL pitching staffs are going to have more wear on them per game this year than before.
Yeah, and I think the class of the class, it won't matter. Like DeGrom doesn't matter.
Sure.
Those guys. But, yeah, maybe you take a guy... I don't know. There's probably a guy out there that would fit the criteria, like a guy that has been really good, but it's 6 at bats a game. They get a breather.
Random pitcher to throw under a bus here. Who do we got?
I've already. You guys have already pitted me
Who
against 2 players, so I'm not doing it.
Okay.
I actually with Syndergaard out, the Mets staff is dicey. It's DeGrom, Stroman, which I do believe in Stroman a little bit, and then it's kind of like Matz, Waka, Pretty Ricky.
One of those guys figures it out.
Yeah, but they went from being like,
Yeah.
oh, shit, to now it's like, oh, I hope they can piece it together.
That was a big loss for them.
Yeah.
I also their lineup is good, too. I mean, they were a sneaky contender this year, especially in the shortened season if they got hot.
Still a good team.
Yeah.
I'm back on my Nats, by the way, after
I love the Nats,
slandering
too.
them. Dude, I mean, my whole thing with the Nats is it's tough to repeat because it's long seasons and,
Yeah, they don't have the hangover. They've been rested.
Scherzer's had some back stuff. Strasburg's thrown a lot of innings. Those guys are back and ready to go, man.
Corbin?
I'm back on Team Nats.
Their rotation is legit.
Yes.
Throwing up emoji.
I mean, they still have Corbin as their 3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
Tim
this
Corbin,
is the year
Vandy
that you
coach.
really have to look at the pitching staffs. Because pitchers are going to win, man. Especially everyone's saying, oh, it's the hot months, and I've heard people say that hitters are going to come out firing early. I don't believe so at all. It's been very tough for guys to get out and get at bats or even get out onto fields and stuff. Yeah, they're going to have some BS summer camp, spring training, but facing your own teammates is not like getting actual bats. Even spring training at bats are more realistic because when you're facing a guy that it's hard to actually simulate real at-bats against him. A lot of these guys are going to be throwing with screens in front of them. It's not the same damn thing. Hopefully these teams are taking measures to make it as game-like as possible. But I'm telling you, if it kind of goes how I remember inter-squads going, that doesn't prepare you for games. A little bit. You see the ball, whatever. But it's not like getting in and having real ABs in spring training. So we've talked about this before. I think hitters are going to come out and be a little bit behind. a little bit more behind than they even typically are to start the year.
I like that.
It's going to be interesting, man. What we have to do as fans, people who love this game of baseball, we have to take this season for what it's worth. It's not a regular season. It's going to be weird. It's going to be quirky, but it's going to be fun. You know, like we're never going to have another season like this, hopefully.
Hopefully.
Another season hasn't ever been like this. So, like, let's just enjoy it for what it is. It's going to be, I mean, it's a sprint, like they say. 60-game sprint. I do believe that, I mean, realistically, each game is worth 2.7 something wins, which is cool to think about.
I have my guy that fits the criteria.
Okay.
And I forgot this was a storyline that when we did the team profile and projections,
Sure.
I said, mark this down. I want to follow this. Ryu.
Oh, Ryu coming over to the AL.
Yeah, it's still DH, but it's
Right.
not the NL DH. But Ryu's had some really good years with a really good team in a big ballpark with NL and a weaker division around him. So now he comes to the AL East with the smaller ballpark. You got Camden, you got Fenway, you got Yankee Stadium, you got more offense to deal
Toronto's a
with.
hitter place.
Yeah, and he has the DH now. So I remember before the season even started, before 60 games, saying I want to have this as a pseudo experiment, watch his adjustment. So he's my guy. How's he if he can't pitch around the eighth hole hitter and strike out the pitcher?
I'm in on Ryu. I think he's nasty.
I think his stuff is really fun.
I think in a shortened season too. I think the biggest thing with Ryu has been his health. So I'm in on that. I've one more shower team. Jakey's shower team of the week.
Okay.
So this season, a lot of talk is going to be around turning it on, flipping the on switch. It's time to go, win games, empty the bullpen. The past 2 seasons, I've got one team that has kind of fit the bill for this.
Oh, I can't wait for this.
They've kind of managed their pitching staff. They've had 2 big Septembers when they needed it.
The Brewers.
The Brewers.
The
I
Brew Crew.
I don't know if they've got magic sauce. I know they got that Yelich guy he's pretty magical. But the past 2 Septembers and one where they lost him, they've turned it on. And we know they look at the game differently. They'll throw Hader out there 7 and 8 and figure out the 9th. The Brewers might have something in their Kool-Aid jug that they might have this kind of go switch win every game because they've done it the past 2 years. So just a shower take. I don't know if you guys want it or don't want it.
I like the Brewers. I like what you're saying, and Council's been good at that. They have really, really used to their advantage the September roster. I think they threw 20 pitchers in a week span. That's not the exact numbers, but it was ridiculous, whatever it was. They used everyone to slow down the game, to mix and match, to keep the opponents off balance. They don't have that this year. I mean, they have, it actually goes the opposite. They go from 30, where they might be throwing the whole kitchen sink. Then after a month, it goes to 26. They don't have that September extended roster. So I don't know if they'll be able to do it, how you're saying, towards the end there with so many limited guys. They did that with 40-man, 30 guys to be able to do it. So will they have the guys in place to mix and match like they have in the last couple years? Because the stats were crazy with how many pitchers they threw, but their offense is good.
Yelly, your guy, Trev.
And you got Yelly, you got a chance.
That's kind of cool.
So we got Brew Crew, we have the Rays, and the Nats. Those are kind of the sleeper teams, if you will. Are they sleeper teams?
They're not sleeper teams.
The Rays aren't a sleeper team.
I think the Brewers could be considered a sleeper. Everyone likes to talk about the Cubs, even the Reds, the Cardinals, and our guy Jack Flaherty too. Which I think you said they're going to use Carpenter in that DH slot. I think they'll be interesting to watch if Carpenter can get it back this year, and whoever they put in the field, I think is going to be a really good defensive player. Whether
Tommy
that's
Edman.
Edman or leaving Bader in center, and you're all over that Tyler O'Neill train. Maybe a little cheese on Rookie of the Year for Big Tyler. Wow.
He can hit some homers, baby.
Wow.
If he wants to.
I'll say this, though. As of today, with everything we know baseball-wise, the Nationals are up in my book. The Rays had up in my book. Brewers, I'm interested in. I could see their season going either way, but like I wouldn't be surprised if it's like, yeah, the 35-win Brewers are going dancing.
The 35-win Brewers.
It's gonna be a weird year.
Oh man, I got a lot of these prop bets up right now. I'm looking at them over under 30 games, what people's batting averages are going to be. I'm so excited for this year. I think I need to officially retire. Like I need to put my paperwork in just so I don't get permanently banned from baseball.
Yeah.
'Cause I don't want to be banned from baseball.
Yeah, we want that anyways.
Trev, have you heard?
We want those headlines.
Have you heard what my brain's been spinning about? I posted a video about it, but we've been talking about and Talking Yanks a ton. I'd love to hear your thoughts on it.
Okay.
The 40 games in division means so much more than the 20 out of division. And the schedule is balanced. It's never been a balanced schedule, but it's so unbalanced right now. So, we've been talking about it. Let's talk about it with the Twins. Jake and I have basically said one of the wild card teams for the AL is coming from the Central. Because you've got the Tigers and the Royals, who they're not trying to win.
Yes.
They don't care. That's 20 games these teams get to play, And then you also have the Pirates in there, and maybe the White Sox. Oh, I don't know. Even without any more, those three teams.
I forgot about my White Sox.
It's the weakest division. So I think the Twins and Indians, one of them's winning the AL Central, and the other's going to get a wild card because it's easier to rack up wins on paper in that division. And the Yankees the Rays, the Red Sox, they don't get to play any of the Central. They don't get to play any of the West. So the wild card race is so weird because you're racing with teams that have a completely different strength of schedule or strength of play at all. You don't want to be in that wild card race because you can't control anything that anyone else is doing.
Yeah, I mean, they're definitely not balanced.
The 40 games mean so much more, and your top pitchers are only going to get 10 to 12 starts. So I'm saying the Yankees open up against the Nationals, and they're going to start Cole and Tanaka and Paxton. But if they were like, hey, we're actually going to start Montgomery and Happ and someone else so we can save Cole, Tanaka, Paxton for the Rays, who are the next series we play, I think logically you can't really get upset about that. You could almost be like, yeah, that makes sense. You're only getting 10 to 12 starts from Cole. How many are going to be again? You want as many as possible against the American League East to win the division. I've been racking my brain on this forever.
I gotta say, I love that. Like that kind of gamesmanship and planning, I think will definitely happen. It already sort of does in a regular season, but like you're saying, yeah, if you got the Orioles on the schedule, it's like, we could probably just throw. We could probably call someone up on the 60-man roster and have them come throw for us.
Day.
Yeah, or do like a bullpen day opener and a bulk day.
I think that strategy will be put into place, and I kind of love it. Like this whole sprint thing is kind of, I'm starting to really come around to it. Especially once we get halfway through it and we're 30 games in, I'm hoping there's not just a bunch of teams already running away from it or with it.
You almost can't.
For it, from it, with it, whatever. And then that last month is going to be something special. It really, really is. I mean, the races are going to be here. We're going to have 6, 7, 8 teams possibly vying for that last postseason spot. That's kind of what dreams are made of as a baseball fan.
Trev, off the top of your head, and I'm not doing this to be D-Bag Crew, do you know, or in general, what your longest losing streak was ever on a team? I don't have the stat or anything, but just a round number.
I think we might have lost 6 or 7 to open up the year in 2014 or 15. So that was crappy. I think that's probably one of the longest.
And
6, 7 games, yeah.
I think the number that was going around Twitter the other day was if you lose 7 games, it's the equivalent to 19 games in a normal season.
Yeah, that's what I said. Whatever it is, it's 60 divided by 162.
Okay.
I think that's like 2 point something.
Dude, that
2.7, yeah.
sucks.
It's crazy, dude. This is, like I keep saying, this is just a different season, and we just have to embrace it as that. People that are going to be like, this isn't a real season, whatever. You can have that opinion. That's fine. Just shut up about it. Just like take
That's
this
what I'm
season
saying.
and have fun with it.
That's what I'm saying. And I'm getting annoyed at people saying they can't have awards. It's like there's going to be an MVP of the season.
Yeah.
It's a weird season. There will be an MVP. It's what do you want them to do? Not give out awards?
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense.
But I am worried about records. I did admit that. Like if someone puts up like a 0.90 ERA because they had 10 starts, like
Jack Flaherty.
Jack Flaherty, yeah, or someone does hit 410, and that's like those cannot be in the history books as the best single season batting average.
But why not? What's the
100 less games.
It's 100 less games. I understand that, but like the minimum plate appearances on a regular season is what?
It's
like
not 60
400
games.
or something.
Like to qualify for the batting title is how many
I think
in
it
a
might
regular
be
season?
Might be 500. I don't know.
It's like 2 point something at bats per game.
Oh, it is a weird thing. I remember we went through this last year with Gio Urshela, Trevor. Yankee shout out.
502.
Plate appearances?
3.1 plate appearances a game.
3.1 plate appearances a game. So what does that come out to this year? 180-ish? That's a big difference.
186. That's a
It's a
huge
big
difference.
difference.
It's a huge difference, yeah.
That goes to my point then.
I think the batting average is the only one.
ERA?
I mean, yeah. It's kind of a similar
I agree
thing.
with that. I agree
Yeah.
with that, At the same time, put yourself in that guy's shoes. You're like, hey, I hit over 400.
Oh, you peacock a little bit.
Yeah. I was the best in the season. That's
all
fine.
I know.
Oh, dude. The Twins in 2013 lost 10 games in a row. Brutal.
I was part of that. When was that? I don't remember.
I think that's got to be the longest one. Hold on. Let me
It's the equivalent to 27 games this year.
Good math.
Nope. Longest losing streak in 2016. The Twins lost 13 games straight. Were you part of that one?
I was. I might have been on the DL. What part of the
August 18th to August 31st.
I don't think I was on the DL.
Yeah, they were missing their fucking cornerstone of their team, man.
It's incredible. Like people were saying, like I can't believe Trev's not playing. He would have turned the ship around.
The 10 game was in Tuesday, May 14th.
It's really bringing up those good memories.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's my bad.
Jake's bad.
I'll take that one.
Oh man.
It was a tough homestand. I was hoping it was a road trip.
I do remember that. Yeah, that's tough, man. You start to get booed by your home crowd. That's not fun.
One of them was on a walk-off, too. That's brutal.
You talking about 2013?
Yeah, 2013. Yeah. Braves walked you guys off in Atlanta.
Atlanta interleague, baby.
Yeah, that's when I got kneed in the head and had a concussion. I had to come out of that game, went on the DL. So,
But you were seen later out in Buckhead that night, turning up.
I wasn't. I was in the
You did,
freaking
man. What a good
hospital.
memory. You came out of that game. Trev, want to know your personal stats in that losing streak in
Here we
2013?
go.
Sure.
320 batting average,
Yes!
854 OPS, 414 on base percentage.
Unbelievable, guys.
Get my man some help.
Yeah,
Surround me
Jesus.
with some talent, for God's sake.
And then you didn't even get to play all of it. You only played 7 because the Braves knocked you out.
Am I Mike Trout? I'm sort of the Minnesota
Mike
Twins
Trout?
Mike Trout.
Who hit you in the head, dude?
Are we beefing?
It's a great video if you want to check it out. Dan Ugla, I tried to go break up a double play. And funny story, I got on base because Craig Kimbrell beamed me in the back with 98 or whatever he throws.
Huge.
2 pitches later, I'm on first base, and a ground ball gets hit. I go try to break up a double play, and Dan Ugla just tries to decapitate me with his knee.
Mm.
Yeah.
Inning ended with Aaron Hicks striking out.
Yeah. I still have difficulty with bright lights to this day because of that. So
And all the weed.
weed helps.
Okay. I got a new
Hashtag-
shipment in. Pretty excited.
Hashtag weed helps.
Freddie Freeman walked off that game off Brian Dunsing.
That's tough.
Trev, you still have the props up in front of you? You got one weird one to tease the people?
God, they got a lot right now. I think they might have just come out with a lot of these. It's
Give us a
odds
teaser.
to make the playoffs, I think, is a fun one. So Jim,
Jim,
you're talking about the Twins and the Indians and possibly the White Sox. Like, two of those teams are going to make the postseason. One's going to win the division. One's going to win a wild card.
Yeah, I think so.
I like that.
And I think in a 162-game season, only one team. I don't think the Central's providing a wild card, but I think in a 60, it is.
So I'll give you the props for them to make the playoffs.
Props.
Yes or no for those teams. Right now we have the Minnesota Twins. Yes, minus 165. So they're saying
not a good payout at all. Yeah.
I don't mind that though, because if you think they're definitely going to make the playoffs, which you are, I mean, you're only getting taxed, whatever.
Sure.
That's not a huge tax, because I think we're all in agreement that they're going to make the playoffs. If you went to FanGraphs percentage of them being able to make the playoffs, it's probably in the 90 percentile.
Yes, I think they're going to make the playoffs, but I'm not going to. I mean, you bet.
It's a little juice. That's not. I don't think that's a bad
bet. $200 to win $1.
That's 165 to win 100.
Boring.
So, on top of that, now we have Cleveland.
Cleveland rocks.
Basically even money, minus 115 on either side of it, yes or no. So I don't really believe in the Indians team this year. I'd rather be on the White Sox side of this bet. And if you want me to give you that number, which I think this is a good bet, it is plus 130 for them to make the playoffs.
It's not bad.
Dude, why don't you believe in the Indians? I think they're good.
I just don't. I like that Twins bet the best out of any of those.
Shocked.
Even if you got to pay the juice. No, I mean, we're not talking about winning in the postseason. We're talking about getting to the postseason.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the Indians. You got Bieber. Clevenger's healthy now. He's throwing nasty sliders, dancing around on the mound.
Uh-oh.
Okay.
The Civ and Plesac.
The Civ.
I'm not saying, look, I'm sure they got good guys, whatever, but I'd rather be on the White Sox side of that. I kind of like what the White Sox have been doing, even though I bash them in the PPP.
Yeah, you're just trying to get back to their good graces because the TPP, the White Sox fans were mad at you.
They were mad at me, but, we've had some time to see how things are shaking out. This is a different season than a 162. This is all about if guys can get hot for 60 damn games. It's different than 162.
Yeah.
I like young teams in a 60-game sprint.
I'll tell you, though, but Lindor and Ramirez can fucking do some shit for the Twins or for the Indians if they get hot. Like, those two guys are game changers.
Counterpoint here, Jim.
Counterpoint.
Lindor's not going to be an Indian.
What do you mean? Do I miss something?
I'm just saying, trade deadline. They need to move him.
You think they're going to trade him during this
They
season?
need to move him. What? And they'd get nothing. There's no qualifying offer this year, right? So isn't that what's going on next year?
You think if they're playing well and in the race, they're still going to trade him?
No, I don't. If they're in the race, then sure. But they got to be
they're not going to be bad
in the race. Like,
no one's going to be that bad.
Yeah,
man.
they're not going to be bad enough to be out of the race.
The Royals and the Tigers are going to blow?
Although I love this conspiracy theory now. If the Indians did get to a terrible shit, oh my God, terrible shit start, I like that conspiracy theory. Get Lindor out of there.
They're going to. If they're around 500, around that mark, sorry, they're not going to do it. It doesn't make any sense for the organization. They're not a World Series team. And I hate having to say that, but
Lindor to Tampa. Boom. That would be a sad day at the JOMBOY headquarters.
Lindor to the Twins is something that I already
stop.
Tidbit. I already know it's been discussed.
Whoa.
At least talked
headlines.
About what it would take to get him.
Headlines. Wow.
They need it.
Trev, if the Indians trade him within division in a season when they can easily just make the playoffs and win, then the Indians should be shot to the sun.
I think most people agree with you, but these front offices don't think like most people.
Are there any other good money line? Like what are the Rays? They're pretty good to make the playoffs. They got to be
make
good.
the playoffs. I don't really like these bets. It's kind of a weird thing, but to make it -150. So you're getting better action on that.
Can you just give me the layout of the West, the AL West? Because I'm interested how they're judging the Angels and the Rangers.
Okay.
Houston -150, A's even. I'm just guessing.
Okay. Well, you're the Angels, and if you like the Angels' chances this year, if you're like, hey, these are my guys, sprinkle a little cash on them because they're +175.
They're terrible. Don't make that bet.
I kind of agree with you that they're probably not going to make the playoffs, but if there's ever a year. Astros -190 to make it. The Oakland Athletics -115. Another good bet right there. I love them. Gotta love the A's. Pitching staff needs some work.
I'm just scared that, if the Indians or the White Sox get that wild card like we think because they have the easiest division, some teams getting screwed. Rays, Yankees, A's, Astros, who knows?
I hate that I'm rooting against the Yankees so much this year. I really do.
Well,
but
yeah. I thought you were a company man.
I want them to be in it the entire year and then not make it. Or at least have, this is what I hope for.
Okay.
Truly, if I'm going to be a company man and root for the success of this company and your guys' well-being, I think the best content that we could create would for them to be in the wild card game and have to throw Garrett Cole out there.
Have to.
And one game, let's fucking go.
No. We
have to use Garrett Cole in a do-or-die game.
Oh, Tanaka.
Is that how you're going to be? You're going to be this relaxed?
Tanaka's.
Take a fucking clip of this, BBB.
Tanaka's.
Because when this happens, you're going to be like, oh, look how relaxed they were. And Jimmy's going to be biting his fingernails off.
I'm just saying, whoever we're facing isn't going to have a Garrett Cole.
What do you mean?
What do you mean? What do I mean?
There's other pitchers that are good that could shut teams down.
Okay,
like
who?
Blake Snell.
We wouldn't play him in the wild card game.
They're in
Maybe.
in the division.
What if the Red Sox won the division?
That's crazier than anything you've said yet.
I mean, if you're asking me to compare someone to Garrett Cole, it's going to be tough,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. That's
kind of our whole point.
the exercise.
But that doesn't mean anything in baseball. It's one game. I can go back and check out a game he performed poorly.
Spencer
You have to go pretty
Torkelson.
deep into the annals of his history there.
Oh, don't say anals right now.
I'm just saying, you know it. You guys are not going to be this relaxed. Like you're not.
Trev,
gonna
I'm not
so
gonna be
it's a
relaxed.
miserable day.
Trev, I think the wild card's the worst day of my life.
We need
all the time.
That's what we need.
Trev, do you know in 2018 when the story in 2018 when the Yankees were playing the A's in the wild card, and our company kind of really was make or break on the Yankees getting to a playoff series so we could sell some shirts and grow a little and make content. My cable and internet went out for the entire wild card day. It was out on the entire island down the Jersey Shore. And I had a hotel room booked and like my entire desk, computer, and like 3 monitors ready to go in a hotel room to watch it and cover it from there. So it's the most stressful day ever. So there's a video of this when Judge hits the home run off the Australian in the first inning.
Liam Hendricks.
The most relief, it's on Twitter still, most relief I've ever felt about anything because I was a ball of stress the entire day. The wild card game sucks, dude.
It sucks.
It's brutal.
I'm trying to see who they could match up against. Like I'm thinking in my mind.
Like, what if it's
Yankees
the
gotta be in
Astros?
the
That would be a
Rookie
MLB.
of the year, Jesus Luzardo.
I mean, Clevenger.
Yeah, Clevenger's
He was
a good
getting
one.
he was
if
getting
he's
sprinkled.
right.
He was getting sprinkled for sight. What's that? I
What was that?
don't know.
What?
It's a Slack. It's in the Slack.
Oh, it's not in these. It's
No.
on here.
Well, I think it was both.
You guys are gonna hate this.
Here we go. Trevor Plouffe, final thing for the episode. Show us your meat.
I got one for you.
Okay.
Okay,
Final teaser.
And I'm flip flopping because I don't care.
it.
I like that.
I'm allowed to adjust my opinion with more information. People, listen. You in America, you can adjust your opinion when you get more information.
Reserve the right
It's
to change your
okay.
mind. Yeah, reserve the right to change
You
your
can
mind.
do it. It's okay. In fact, you probably should.
Encouraged.
If you get new information.
What is it?
Well, I'm just going over who they could face.
Okay.
And we already talked about this team.
Okay.
Being a team that could get to the wild card game because they faced an easy schedule, the Chicago White Sox. Who's their ace?
Keuchel?
Lucas Giolito versus Garrett Cole would be
The girl
an excellent
from
game. And I know you'd be
Giolito.
scared.
She's lovely.
Shut that lineup down. Oh, my goodness.
You guys are crushing me with this Glasnow and Giolito shit. Like 12 good games.
I'm not as in on
Come
Giolito.
on.
I'm
You're
not as in on
comparing him
Giolito.
to Garrett Cole. He's good. He showed promise.
Yeah,
He has
I
not
am
put it
comparing
together
him to
for a
Garrett Cole.
season.
Look at his numbers.
Any pitcher in baseball can be compared to Garrett Cole if you want to play that game. Armando Galarraga threw a perfect game. He would shut Cole down on that day.
That's exactly my point, Jim. It's one game.
Yeah, but it's Cole. Anyway, I'm going to be nervous, Trev. Shut up. I'm going to be nervous from day one, from the first game, until the Yankees either lose and I cry or they win and I cry. And that's the 60-game schedule for me. Just nerves, happy tears, sad tears. That's going to be my life.
I'm looking at Giolito's stats. He led the league in earned runs in 2018 with 118.
Yeah, man.
Chop that one down about in half.
It's good
for 67.
Good improvement.
Yeah, and I mean, I like, Gio's dad already came at me once on Twitter because I said something that I don't even forget what I said, but like, shows a lot of promise. Didn't even really put it together for the full season last year. So like, there just needs to be another year.
Glasnow.
Quit making me be the bad guy all the time.
Because I make you defend the Yankees, and then you have to hate on everybody else.
I'm not hating on
Gio.
Gio. I'm just saying he's not compared to Cole. You can't compare him to Cole yet.
Is there
I agree
anyone
with
you
that.
can compare to Cole?
That's kind of
Verlander,
the whole.
Verlander,
kind of the whole
Scherzer,
Verlander's an
Greinke.
old fart. Get him out of here. I'm done with him. He got lit up in the playoffs.
Who?
Verlander.
Oh yeah.
It's done.
There are players, but longevity. Not even longevity, but like done it for a full season.
You know that Garrett Cole wasn't very good early on in his career either. I just want to let you guys know that he wasn't always the Garrett Cole. He went to Houston.
I think that's my
got their
point.
Pine tar,
This
got
was
their pine
my
tar
point with
mix.
Scherzer. Like, and then
That's
I'm
my
in on
point.
Glasnow. Giolito's good, not great. I think Glasnow's special. It's an early take. He's got to show it, but I think he's
stop.
about to.
I'm taking Giolito over Glasnow.
Yeah, he's a Cali
every
boy.
day.
You worked out with
like
him. You
him.
made out with him.
They're both Cali boys. They're both from the
I
same
got pictures
place,
on my
dude.
phone of you guys. Never mind.
Tyler Glasnow is from Valencia,
Yes.
Cool.
and Lucas Giolito is from the Valley. They're right next to each other. Don't tell me he's a Cali boy. I'm rooting for Lucas Giolito.
I never go into the Valley. I will never step foot there.
Valley is the shit.
Yeah. Jake and I did some shit in Temecula once.
This is what I like, though. We're talking about fucking baseball, baby.
Yeah, that's net. End of this episode. We talked a lot of baseball. It wasn't organized. We're not sorry. And I hope you liked it.
We did a lot of gambling stuff that we're supposed to do next
It was a
episode.
teaser. It was a teaser.
I can't wait to actually put our bets out into the world. I cannot wait.
All right, we're doing teaser stuff next
Tease
week.
me.
Goodbye, farewell, so long, see you later. Thanks for hanging out.
5-star review. Tease me.
5-star review, tease Jake. Jake sucks.